product provided by Nintendo. They sent one of these over for review, and so we're gonna check it out. What's going on, guys, girls? It's Ghost Robo, and this may be Nintendo's best handheld ever. I'm talking clean form factor. I'm talking beautiful feel in your hands. I'm talking incredible library. I'm talking very nice sticks, D-pad, buttons, triggers, and screen. It's Nintendo Switch Lite, and we're gonna unbox it for you now. It's a really easy unboxing, so I want to talk about the reasons why I love Switch Lite and why you probably don't need one if you already have a Switch, but why it also is super freaking awesome, and if you're a Nintendo faithful, it's really hard to ignore. I love this guy a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen my coverage on Switch Force. I wanted to bring some here to let you in on the secret of what this guy does and what it doesn't do. What it doesn't do is it doesn't dock. It doesn't allow you to play on your TV. The Joy-Con don't come off because they're not actually Joy-Con, they're just con. It's not a con, though, because at $200, you're still getting access to an incredible library of all the great games. And I am the person that... I'm just guilty as charged of being that Nintendo super fan. I double dip. I get the freaking Pikachu 3DS XL. I get the Nose Kachu 2DS XL because the nose is 3D. I don't know if you can tell here on this shot, but it's a 3D nose. It's a 3D nose, like my freaking nose. I get all the Joy-Con. I got like custom colorware Joy-Con. I got custom Instagram Etsy Joy-Con. I've got the freaking Pikachu Eevee Joy-Con. This one I'm even missing a Joy-Con because sometimes I just like to take them off and take them over and mess with my collection. I'm basically just like that Nintendo dude. I mean, if I'm honest with you, I actually have another Switch Lite. I'm trying to decide if I want the turquoise or the yellow. Let's unbox the yellow. It's like the quickest unboxing ever. There's literally 2 things in this box, but the system is super freaking awesome. I really think it is. It's impressive to me that Nintendo took $100 off, and yeah, they removed a bunch of features. But what they did do was the build quality is supreme. The build quality is just incredible. I love that they were able to make such a premium feeling product. It's smaller, it's lighter, it's a little littler in terms of the screen size, but not by much. You won't really notice. You won't really notice less screenage in your games, but you will notice that these colors are killer, and these are special to me for a specific reason. The yellow, it's like a mango popsicle. Like, I really just want to lick it. I really want to taste it. These things have to taste good. I know the cartridges taste like crap, but these things have to taste good. Anyhow, my brother Jake, my younger brother, my middle brother, he had a yellow Game Boy Color when we were really small. And I had a turquoise Game Boy Color when we were really small. And that's where we first played Pokemon. And I'll never forget, we had this giant tent that we would set up in our backyard so Jake and I could have like camp out, sleepovers outside in our backyard in suburban Michigan. So it wasn't all that adventurous, but it felt like it to us. And I remember staying up late and playing Pokemon Red in the tent with a worm light and my Game Boy Color. And it was just the best. And so these color ways throw it back to that, which is so much fun. I freaking love it. I don't know, though, if I should stay true to my roots and be turquoise and blue. It matches my life aesthetic. It's the color I like best. But the yellow is such a weird, delicious option. It pops. I wish I could get a turquoise yellow ombre. I wish I'd smash them together and fuse them. And I'm not keeping 2. Don't worry. I'm broke right now, so this is not gonna work out so well to have 2. I gotta dump one of them. I just cannot decide. I'm crazy. Like, I went out and got this one at midnight so that I could unbox it right away and start playing, start checking it out. And Nintendo was nice enough to send this one over. So I got to choose. So I'll probably, I don't know. I don't know which one I'm going to keep. Maybe I'll give one to my younger brother. Maybe I'll just throw it back like all the way and give Jake the yellow, me the turquoise, and be ready to go. Anyhow, this is the Switch Lite. It's freaking great. So the best parts about it are that I think the form factor is phenomenal. For me, I have a little bit smaller hands, so I love this. You know, if we take a look at the regular Switch, which we've got right here, the Switch Lite is basically a Switch minus a Joy-Con. That's kind of how I like to describe it. And the regular Switch is fantastic. I've enjoyed the heck out of this thing every day. I have a whole channel based on it. It's a little flimsy. And that doesn't factor in if you're just playing the Switch. But when you go to check out the Switch Lite, you realize, like, hey, the build quality here, it has to be a little bit separate. And in no way am I saying that the regular Switch stinks, because it's fantastic. And if you have a regular Switch, that's where, like, you don't need a Switch Lite. You don't. it doesn't do anything better. It does things a little different. I guess it plays portably better because it's smaller and more pocketable, but it's not like making the games better. It's just a little bit different, and it loses features. It loses the switchability of the Switch, which is a big one. So if you already have a Switch, like, there's really no need. Plus, the process of making one of them primary and then the other the primary console and trying to transfer your save data and hoping that there's cloud saves, because you can't have save data on two consoles if there's not cloud saves. Trying to balance digital games across both, it is tough. I'm going to try to do it because I love Nintendo and I love the Switch Lite that much, and I think this is like ideal. It's like made for my hands. But if you don't feel that crazed like me, then you probably are totally 100% fine with your regular Switch. If you don't have a Switch and you love portable play, this is really great. I think this is going to be the best on-the-go system ever made. I know the 3DS was amazing. I know, the Game Boy Advance was fantastic. I was just playing one the other day. It's like such a cool system. But I think this will go down as like the best Nintendo handheld ever. Because library, look, feel, it's got it all. The buttons are the best they've been. They're squishy buttons instead of clicky. You can kind of hear it a little bit. Clicky, squishy. But I like it. You get used to it real fast. And the screen is minutely smaller, like barely smaller. And it's not anything you're going to notice. In fact, in some ways the screen feels a little better because the bezel is the color of the console. And I know people have said they don't like that. I personally love that the bezel is the color of the console. I think it's really great. And I think to me, like, it makes me less distracted. I'm able to focus more on the screen. I know other people have said they're more distracted by the color bezels, but I really like that the bezels just go right up to the screen, and you don't have to deal with this big black frame around the Switch. To me, that's like one of my least favorite parts about the Switch in handheld play is the big bezel. Now, you can't do much multiplayer here, so that's another reason why you don't need it, because if you want to play multiplayer, nothing comes off, but you can't connect all your Joy-Cons, so if you've already got controllers, it's going to work wonderfully. I did try propping this up. You can still play Mario Kart. You can still do, if you're fine playing tabletop split screen on this, you're going to be fine playing tabletop split screen on this. It doesn't have a kickstand, but you can make your own, or you can get a grip that has it. And back to the unboxing, we'll get to whatever else is in the box. Ooh, what is it? There's one more thing. But I got some different grips I want to check out. Some that are like more rubber, some that have extra handles, some that don't, some that are a little more protective, some that are really cheap and plasticky but honestly feel great. And I think that's going to be a nice way also if you kind of want to enhance the feel of the Switch Lite, which already feels great. But if it's too flat for you, and also none of these have it, but I've seen some grips that kind of have stands built in as well. I'm going to check one of those. I don't have to get one, but this is what I got going right now. Probably play with them all and then review them over on Switch Force. Anyhow, back to the unboxing. Nothing else in the box. Okay, there's a little compartment underneath here where we've got this. It's the charging AC adapter from the Switch. Hey, it's also here in the Switch Lite. There's just no dock. And there's no dockability. Do not fool yourself. There's no way to dock this. There's no video out. You can't record it. You can't plug it into the TV. There's no video out. Maybe one day. But I don't think so. Like, there's no video out. There's no dockability. So it's just portable only. But it has the same library. So Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Astral Chain, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Link's Awakening, which I've been loving. Goodness gracious, totally did not expect to love that. I didn't like it at E3, but I've had such a blast. Anyhow, yeah, to me, it is the Switch handheld mode perfected. If I'm going to play handheld mode, I want to play on this. If I'm going to travel, I want to play on this. I'm going to play on my TV, well, it has to be this. For me, I absolutely have to play on this sometimes because I have to record it for YouTube. This cannot be recorded. So by my crazy Nintendo nature, I need both. And by my job and my lifestyle, I need both. But now the real question becomes, which one? Turquoise, because that's what I'm comfortable with. And it's one of my favorite colors. Or yellow, because it pops and it's weird. And the camera almost can't even contain it. Look at that bad boy. That's such a nice color. It doesn't even do it justice. But it's so freaking sweet. I mean, the turquoise is no slouch. That dude is dipping its toes into the Great Barrier Reef with some aqua blue water, doing the Bahamas and the Caribbean and all the coastal waters proud. Boom. Switch Lite. Switch Lite. Which delight should I have tonight? Turquoise or yellow. I can't decide. Both is impossible. Financially and just straight up facts. I'm not transferring between 3 systems. 2 is crazy enough, my dudes. It's honestly the easiest unboxing ever. I think it's funny because, like, usually at least, like, okay, like, think about, like, 3DSs. Those are pretty easy unboxings because you got the console. But they also came with, like, the charger and the AR cards and more pamphlets. Literally, this is the Switch Lite pamphlet. That's it. It's, like, barely a pamphlet. I don't even know. There's, like, barely anything even in here. It's so light. Get it? Switch Lite. $200. It's $100 less. So for $100 less, you're losing multiplayer friendliness and you're losing dockability. Is that worth it? Like I said, if you've got a Switch, you absolutely do not need a Switch Lite. Unless you have expendable income, you travel all the time, or maybe you do have like a significant other sibling roommate that really wants to play Switch and you're sick of sharing. I guess this works out okay because then you've got this as your dockable, this as your on the go. You have Joy-Con already, so you can multiplayer it up with this. Online games are going to be great because now you've got separate consoles, and if you want to play different titles entirely, it's okay. But for one person, it just doesn't make sense. Unless you're crazy like me, and unless you travel a ton, and unless you do YouTube, and unless you're Nintendo obsessed, and you've got the freaking Pikachu 3DS XL, and you've got the Nose Kachu 2DS XL, and you've got all the extra systems, and you do all that stuff. The worst part of this all, everybody, is that the best colorway of the system doesn't come out till November. And then I'm going to have to trade in one of these or sell one of these to get that one. Because that Zacian and Zamazenta console looks so freaking majestic. Someone is like pounding on the floor or this. I think they want to get my Switch Lite, so I better hide it. You can't have it. They heard I have 2, and I'm not. You can't have it. I gotta pick and then hide the other one or get rid of it or give it to a family member or something, but I'm not giving it to the people pounding on the apartment walls. It's a little bit spooky. So at the end of the day, we have a Switch that really expands the options for the audience, and it also really accomplishes what I think Nintendo set out to do long ago: unify their handheld and home console divisions. This allows them to have 2 separate devices, one at a cheaper price point for portable preferring players, and also probably for kids, girlfriends, boyfriends, second players, things of that sort. And then they also get to have a more premium option as their home console that's $300 and allows you to play on the TV and on the go, but they both utilize the same games library. That means you have your development studios, your teams, your partnerships all pushing towards both platforms. The same platform, but both player pools. So if you want to play portably, you get access to the best that Mario, Link, and Co. have to offer. And if you want to play home console, you also have access to those same exact games. And for that alone, I think the Switch is a success. And maybe the real Switch isn't trading between TV play and handheld play, but switching the philosophy for Nintendo from 2 separate pillars, dividing their handheld and home console markets to one, unification. So the Switch is actually that they've switched over to one platform, but multiple options. And this will get real interesting if and when the Switch Pro comes out, because then it's going to be a 3-pronged single-pillar approach with triple gem options for the lightest offering, the medium offering, and then eventually over here, the heavy offering, which could have a lot more power, a better screen. I hope no exclusive games, because I think that unified library is super important, whether it's eShop or store shelves. Having the ability to play the exact same games, Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4, Animal Crossing New Horizons, no matter which Switch, I think that's where Nintendo really wins. So you absolutely don't need a Nintendo Switch Lite. If you've got a Switch, you're good. Suck it up and probably save that $200 for all the games that are releasing over the next couple of months. But if you don't have a Switch, this $200 option is awesome. It feels great. It looks great. I love the matte finish, the bright, vibrant colors, the smaller form factor, a little bit better battery than my Switch, not the new V2 Switch, but the OG Switch. It does have a better battery. And it just feels like the premier way to play portable games in 2019. And I'm sure that'll be replicated once again in 2020, because who's competing? Nobody. Although Apple Arcade is making an interesting proposition, but a little bit different. Maybe we'll touch on that at some point. For now, though, know that the Switch Lite is super cool, and if you want to justify it by grabbing one for a relative, a significant other, I can't fault you. I'm a crazy Nintendo faithful, and some of you definitely are too. So it's an awesome system. Unnecessary if you've got one, but a great option if you don't. And really fun to have if you are a crazy collector. What color should I keep? Yellow or turquoise? Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day and enjoying your weekend. Let me know what you think of the Switch Lite. Hit that like button if you had fun today. And until next time, drink some hot chocolate. Thanks again. And we'll see you all later.